So you can see that the Gypsy Jazz uses a lot of the similarities of a regular small group jazz band that you've heard. We take the melody and the chord changes that are on top of it, and then we throw solos on top, trade fours, that kind of stuff. But it's really the way that the rhythm guitar interacts with the bass that makes this style a little different. As well as if you watch our right hands, you won't see a lot of kind of palm muting and real close to the strings like pretty much every other guitar style that we play is. This one's a lot more out. And whenever we can use downstrokes, we use downstrokes for the power. Wide use of vibrato because Django Reinhardt only had 2 fingers. When he was in his very early 20s, he came home late from a performance, and his wife would sell plastic flower arrangements. And this is, we're talking early 20s, so there was candles all around, and it was probably 1 or 2 in the morning. He couldn't see very well, and knocked over the candle and set his caravan ablaze. And he just made it out with his life, but severely burned his left hand. So much so that he really only had 2 fingers to work with. Doctors said he was lucky to be alive and probably never play music again. And Django kind of took that as, oh yeah, watch this. So he created a horizontal style of playing guitar that wasn't really known about or used until he brought it to the forefront in this style. So, which we might have, use all these fingers to go in a vertical way. He only had 2. So this way wasn't necessarily the easiest, but was the way he did it. So thank you, Django, for showing us this part of the fretboard. The next tune was recorded by Django in 1937. If you have to pick a most famous Gypsy jazz tune, this is probably going to be the one. This is the big hit. Kind of encompasses everything that the Gypsy jazz style is known for. Is entitled Minor Swing. Do. Thank you. So, along with the rhythm, there's one harmonic aspect that the Gypsies brought to us, and that is, so if you have a chord, right, there's our old buddy, major chord. Everybody say hi, major chord. So we have the major chord and we have the minor chord, right? So you might have learned that as this is happy and this is sad. Well, if you expand that a little bit, then we have a seventh chord. So we might have a minor seventh, dominant seventh, right? And if you put the scales along with that, well, we have the kind of a bluesy sounding but happiest. And then you have the sad scale. So what the Gypsies did was they kind of borrowed a couple things from both of those. So they give us this. And then they made a chord like that. So we have the sadness of the minor third that lets us know, the struggle of life, they were a nomadic group of people, so they didn't always know where they were going to be, when they were going to be there. If it rained, they got wet. If it was, sunny, they were hot. They kind of lived off the land. But they give us that note, which kind of told them that the struggle was why they enjoyed the good things so much. Because they struggled with the hard times, they got to really enjoy the good times. It's kind of a lot like our Cajun culture, that a nomadic group that was moved from their homeland and found down here to be a struggle, right? They had mosquitoes, they had humidity, they had these large rivers that, before the bridges were built, they were kind of a problem. But they realized that it was worth the struggle, and that made the good times even better. So this is the minor sixth chord. So instead of like our blues, the Gypsy 1-4-5 would be what you just heard. So their blues has this melancholy sadness, but this ray of hope in there. So that's the minor sixth chord. So again, thank you, Gypsies, for sharing that with us. This next tune is another original to the Hot Club of Baton Rouge. It is the other style of Gypsy music. So we have the swing that you've heard a couple different tempos to. This is the Gypsy Bossa. It is entitled Do. introduce the band now. You've been hearing Anton Zholondz on the violin, Dr. John Bishop on the Grande Bouche guitar, Ben Herrington on the accordion, and Mr. Bob Kling on the upright bass. So like I said before, a jazz way to interpret a tune was kind of the way early jazz musicians introduced the style to America and then to the world. They would take a melody that they might have already known from a musical or a movie and swing it or do it as a ballad or some kind of Latin thing. So we've done that here with a tune that is somewhat unlike the way we're about to do it. This is called Ton Amour, and you might remember, your love is making me higher. Your love is making me higher. Yeah, so we're gonna do that, but it's not that way at all. So see if you can kind of dig through and find the melody inside of Ton Amour. So a big part of the gypsy culture as well is, flamenco and classical music, because of course that's what they heard growing up, as well as their grandparents' melodies that they learned. But they were very steeped in regular composition techniques of the day and of the past, 100 years, 200 years before that. So, like we established with that tune, the definite minor feeling of that, but using the major six, that melancholy thing. But at the end, we turned it into a, when you go to the parallel major at the end, it's called a Picardy third. So you're setting up this alley-oop of sadness, 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 and then you end on a happy note. Again, the whole happy, sad thing that kind of works in music all the time. So with the same thinking of using a melody that people might already know that's already a hit, it's kind of like when you see YouTube covers now. If they pick a song that's popular and they do it all like backbeat and cool, it's like, oh, it's already a hit. We're just going to ride the coattails of that, hit and show our different style of it to show what musicianship we can, express through that cover. Same kind of thing with this next song. It's a melody that everybody knew. It was recorded by the Chordettes in 1954. Does anybody remember the Chordettes? Now, sometimes the band name doesn't get popular, but the melody sure does. So let's see if you remember this one from 1954. anybody remember that melody from somewhere? Yes, Mr. Sandman. Very nice. Yes. Let's see what I want to do. Who remembers Bugs Bunny? It's a cartoon. Remember that guy? That was good. So there is a certain Bugs Bunny cartoon where there was a large monkey and a barrel involved. So the premise is Bugs Bunny thinks he's hiding in the barrel to surprise his girlfriend. And he's waiting in the barrel, and he's going to pop out, and his girlfriend's going to be there. He's like, I'm here. They're going to hug him. What he doesn't know is that a large monkey and or gorilla has taken the barrel that he is in, and he's running around the jungle with Bugs Bunny in the barrel, thinking that he's about to see his girlfriend. But in actuality, it's a large monkey with like lipstick. But before he knows it's a monkey, he is singing a song to his girlfriend, which is this next tune that we will do. It is entitled "Someone's Rocking My Dreamboat," recorded by the Ink Spots in 1942. Yeah, so maybe the sad part was when he realized it was a monkey, and then the happy part after it was like, monkeys aren't so bad. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows with those guys? But that is something we've kind of lost in the cartoons now, I think, whereas Bugs Bunny was a huge outlet for wonderful classical, wonderful jazz, all kind of great stuff. That's how most people learned of Wagner and Beethoven, all kind of great stuff. So that's kind of our job, is to keep sharing that with as many people as we can. Our last tune is written by Jang Ho, the man himself, in 1935. This is called Jangology, or the study of Jenga. Two. we're at the Hot Club of Baton Rouge. And we are here on behalf of the Jazz Foundation of America. Jazz Foundation of America is a nonprofit group out of New York City that helps specifically jazz and blues musicians during trying times. So they were in New Orleans right after Katrina, and they're still there. The probably second week after the flood in 2016, they were in my home. I was on their roster of artists that had been affected. And they paid my mortgage for 2 months, and they said, we're sending down a cleaning crew to close off your house and bake it to 140 degrees to bake all the water out of your 2x4s. I was like, yes, thank you, wonderful, yeah. Should have cost thousands of dollars. They took care of everything. So on a normal basis, when it's not a tragedy like that, if a 80-year-old blues singer needs to be down for a couple months for a surgery, they'll actually come in and help her with her mortgage and buy her groceries and that kind of thing. So they kind of take the idea that since we do choose to do these not necessarily most lucrative of genres such as blues and jazz, but the music is so important to pass on traditions and styles, they really recognize that need, and they fundraise every second of every day for that specific thing all over the country. So thank you to the Jazz Foundation of America and the Mandeville School of Music for having us, and you guys take care.